Tell you these folk be snitching. These folk are not your friend. But they'll smile in your face. Yeah, he's stealing coffee. Yeah, that's why I don't want you next to me. Get away from me. Let's look at some of these clips.
Let me say something that makes people uncomfortable. Coworkers are not your friends. They might be nice, they might laugh at you, they might even know your kids' names, but at the end of the day, they're coworkers. And confusing the two is one of the fastest ways to lose your job. Work creates a false sense of closeness. You see these people more than you see your family. You survive stressful situations together, and that builds emotional bonds. But shared stress does not equal loyalty. When things get uncomfortable, layoffs, complaints, investigations, friendship disappears and self-preservation takes over. I've represented hundreds of employees, and I can tell you this with certainty. When HR starts asking questions, coworkers don't protect you, they protect their paycheck. Not because they're evil, but because fear changes behavior. So be friendly, not familiar. Be polite, but not personal. And be professional always. Don't vent, don't overshare, and please don't assume loyalty. If you wouldn't want it repeated in a conference room or a courtroom, don't say it in the break room. Coworkers are not ride or die. They're more like rent is due. Remember that. See you next shift.
The quickest way to get fired is hanging out with coworkers outside of work. Hanging out with your coworkers and hanging out with your manager outside of work. That is like the messiest thing that you could possibly do, okay? Because you're inviting them into your personal space, into your personal life. Some of y'all invite these people to your house. Y'all invite these people to go to the club, to go to the bar, and you're inviting them to get to know your personal business. And once they know your personal business, they could use that shit against you. They could use it against you in HR. They could just use it against you. Coworkers are not your friends. You need to do your job, do it correctly, and go home and keep it cordial. Because it's best that you just keep it cordial. It's best that you just say good morning and that's it. If it's not work related, it should be no personal conversations. Y'all be telling these coworkers y'all personal business, what's going on with your relationships, and y'all just telling them too much of y'all personal business. And then especially like with the managers, some of y'all think y'all managers is y'all best friend. Your manager is not your best friend. To be honest with you, some of these managers are your biggest enemies. You see what I'm saying? That is the quickest way to get fired. Coworkers and managers are not your friend. When you go to work, you should look at your job as a place of business, as a professional place of business. It don't even matter where you work at. I don't care if you work at a warehouse. Look at your job as a place of profession. Because these people are not your friend. Whatever they know about you, they could use that shit against you in HR. So y'all need to be mindful and be careful and know and understand that these coworkers are not your friend.
And I'm gonna be honest, y'all bitches be too friendly at work. Y'all do. Y'all do. I don't take none of my coworkers as friends. Bitch, I talk to you at that job, and that's where we leave it. That's where we leave it. And now if I see you out in public, I'm gonna say hello. That's it, that's all. It ain't like, oh, I'm about to start, I'm gonna hang out with you now. No, y'all bitches be trying to hang out with y'all coworkers and then be trying to figure out why you be in coworker drama. Why you be in drama at work. Stop hanging out with your coworkers. Bitch, you can meet bitches and friends out there in the real world that don't know you at your job. And I stopped that a long time ago, baby. I stopped that a long time ago. That even goes with school. We at school, we are co-workers. We are not friends, okay? Y'all be acting like y'all be buddy, and then y'all be having a falling out, and all of a sudden she don't want to share her notes no more, and now you can't get a passing grade in that class because the only way you was getting a passing grade in that class is by using her notes. That's why you don't go out there and when you doing business, trying to find friends, okay? Work and school is business. That is business. You don't need no friends, baby.
Please hear me when I say, but your coworkers are not your friends. They are not people to tell your business to tell what you did over the weekend, unless it's like, general information. But them calling you, them texting you, they don't like you, okay? It's very rare that you will genuinely find someone at a job that you will be friends with outside of the job if you were to leave or if they were to leave. Because here's the thing that makes them not friend worthy, right? When people are working at the same job, whether it's, y'all are on salary, whatever, hourly, whatever the case is, naturally people compete, right? They like you until you start to do better, until the boss starts noticing you more, until people start to put your names in rooms and not their name in rooms, right? Y'all are hee hee ha ha, okay, cool, all of this other stuff, until you start to get noticed, until you start to get the promotion, until you start to elevate at the company, at the job. They don't like you. As long as you guys are on the same level or you are a little bit below them, you're okay. But the minute you start to get noticed, the minute you start to do things differently, the minute you start to speak up a little bit more, the minute you start to make more money than them, whether you told them or whether they just found out, they are going to turn on you. They don't like you. They don't like you. Friendships take time, right? To build trust, to build, a mutual liking for each other, a mutual liking for the things that you like to do, that they like to do, whatever. It takes time, okay? And for me, I'm learning that you can't call everybody a friend, but I especially know that I cannot call a coworker a friend. I know that for a fact. So again, stop sharing things with these people. They don't like you. They're not your friends.
And some of y'all be stinking. And I don't want to tell you because I feel like if I tell you, you're going to retaliate. Really, I should retaliate on you for you sabotaging my nose like that, my brother. Yeah.
Your coworkers are not your friend. Stop giving everybody access to your personal life. Stop. Not everybody deserves a front row seat to your life. Some people needs to just stay in the stands and watch you. Not everybody deserves access. Access should be given by alignment only. There are a lot of people who get close to you just to find enough information about you to destroy you, especially in the corporate space. There are a lot of people who gets close to you just to figure out how you do what you do and try to duplicate your entire identity. You have to understand that there are personality stealers out there who wants to steal the entire personality. There are people out there that are just miserable, and misery likes company. So they'll try their best to destroy your reputation. There are people out there who just don't have nothing better to do than to walk around and tear down people. Stop divulging information to people, especially when they didn't even ask for it. So the thing with information is that words travel. And sometimes you are deliberately misquoted or your words are taken out of context because information travels. And if somebody just wanted to be mischievous, they're going to send the information out there and they're going to deliberately misquote you, and that can cause reputational damage. And don't get me wrong, you can absolutely build genuine friendships at work, because some of my closest and dearest friends are people that I would have met while at work. So don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you need to have a spirit of discernment. I always say, try to see people for who they are and not for who you want them to be. And you have to remember, not everybody is like you. Not everybody have a heart like yours. And that's one of the biggest mistakes we make in life. Thinking that people are going to treat us the way that we treat people. And that people have the same heart that we have. Because you have some people that are wicked, especially in the workplace. Trust me. You also have to understand that not because somebody is friendly, it means they're your friend. And you don't need people to know your personal life in order for them to work well with you. They just need to know enough about you to work well with you. So my advice today, be warm, be nice, be kind, be approachable, but also be wise in how you select your friends in the workplace.
Just a reminder that coworkers are not your friends. You go to work and you go home and you get your money and you go straight home. Don't talk to them people. Don't tell them people your business. Don't try to be friendly with them people. Now, I'm not saying you can't be friends with coworkers, but just be careful what you say, because realistically, at most jobs, you might only keep maybe 1 or 2 people when you leave, but everybody else is going to go. You're never going to see them people again the second you leave. So just remember, coworkers are not your friends.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but when you at work, you ain't got no friends. Them people that you work with, y'all hi kiki and y'all cool and everything, those are not your friends. They're not your friends. Stop being so damn friendly. Stop telling people your business. Them motherfuckers ain't your friends. When you in the work environment, it's an environment of competition. Because if they can get rid of competition in order to get a promotion or to get favorable action, they will mess you up so that way they can get it. Okay? Understand, this is survival of the fittest. Do what you got to do and get the hell on. Stop trying to make everybody your friend because they're not your friend. Stop trying to be all cool and buddy-buddy with people in the work environment. It's called a work. It's called a job. Everybody is there to get money and get the on. Stop trying to, whatever. If they tell you, oh, we family in the work environment, they lying to you. They lying to you. Because how you collect info on people, how you collect intel on people is by deceiving them. And then using that information to get rid of them. Come on now, y'all got to think. Stop playing.
Yeah, she right, man. Folks be hating. Ask my wife. Every time she come at a job, boy, they looking at her. And guess what? You ever seen Everybody Hates Chris? My husband got 2 jobs. I don't need that. Gone. Okay, quit. You see, I thank God I got 2 jobs. Well, back then I had 2 jobs. But yeah, thank God I had 2 jobs back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm a hustler. But back to what the topic is. Okay? Folks is trying to get you out of here. And she don't talk to people. She don't even talk to folks. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa, like me, I talk. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. I understand what's going on. I get you feel me? See me? I know how to finesse. I'm finessed 5 times. Yeah, he need to change his name. Ricky Too Smooth. I'm finessed 5 times. I be finessing. No trust. No camaraderie. Nothing. But yeah, I be knowing how to do it. So I know how to get in, get out. I ain't no snitch either though. But you know what I'm saying? I do what I do and move. Stick and move. My brother, I know how to do the system. Just know you ain't gonna get over on me. Cause I ain't no bot. I ain't no NPC. Shout out to Soul Illuminati. I ain't no bot. I know how to do stuff, man. You feel me? Y'all need to pick up and learn game. Matter of fact, if you want to learn game, I'm selling a course. Buy it in my description. No, I'm playing. But let's look at these next clip.
I don't have problems at work. And when I say I don't have problems at work, that's not to say that people don't have personal problems with me, but most of the people that have problems with me is simply people that do not have access to me, because that triggers insecurity in some humans for some strange reason, right? But I would never ever want to be friends with somebody that doesn't want to be friends with me. I would never ever want to be close with somebody that is not reciprocating that type of energy. I'm okay with it. I come to work every day and I know that my coworkers are my coworkers and my friends are my friends. That's not to say that you cannot build a relationship with someone here outside of work and I can stand the test of time, because hey, I have done it. However, you come to work not to fraternize. They don't even want you dating somebody else in here. They really don't want that friend stuff because they don't want to mediate a lot of the things that you go on. You see, when I come to a job, I'm just naturally a person that stays to themselves. And people will sit there and tell each other all their personal business and wonder how it has gotten around. And it gets around even when they're still friends. Why? That's because somebody that has no loyalty is running their mouth about you. Because I understand that, God forbid, I was supposed to drop down right now, that I will be replaced because I'm just a number. I respect people and I would like respect back. So I make sure that I'm always doing my best to be respectful, but that doesn't mean that I have to be friends with you. And a lot of you guys were raised by jigaboos. They are chucking and diving and tap dancing for Europeans, whereby you feel like the only way to get your accomplishments is by giving somebody neck, is by having shit on the tip of your nose because you've been brown nosing so hard. And that is just not the case. That's not true. You can effectively do your job. You can effectively show up and show why the company needs you day in and day out, and you can excel, right? And in certain situations, there's sometimes you might have a client, depending on what type of job it is that you have, whereby you might have to go the extra mile to close the deal. But for the most part, you don't have to do that. You guys choose to do that because you were raised by parents who still have a colonizer mentality, where it feels like you got to kiss up to massa or else you're not going to get what you're owed. You're going to get what you're owed because you work hard for what you're owed. As a Black person, is it harder for us to get things? Absolutely, but that's not impossible. You understand what I'm saying? It might take you a little bit longer because you're not kissing ass, but you can definitely get everything that is made for you, because what is meant for you will never pass you. You are not required to be anybody's friends. You are required to do the job to the best of your ability and to the standards of the company. And for some reason, a lot of you think that that means being buddy people. I can walk in, I can give a little key, and I can go back in my corner. And that is how I don't have problems. I watch people in here beefing with this one beefing with that one, this one's telling their business, and I don't have that problem because I mind my fucking business. Because I understand that I'm here to do a job and go home. And a lot of y'all don't get that. Like to befriend people, that's fine, but it's not a requirement. Remember that.
Here's why you should not become friends with your coworkers. So I had a coworker, right? And they had a little thing going on with the boss, right? And every time I would go to my break, I would always see them both in the break room. And I didn't think much of it because I thought they were just, they were taking a break. They were trying to relax. Like we all need to relax until I go in there one day, just for the plot. Tell me why I find out that they're taking the white stuff while at work. I walk in, I'm like, what is going on right now? And they both looked at me and they were like, it's not what you think. I'm like, then what is it? Tell me why they gonna give me a piece. Call me crazy, call me whatever, but I took a piece, all right? But it's like I only did it because if you wouldn't believe me when I tell you that they would go in that break room, they would be a whole completely different type of people as soon as they got out of the break room. It was actually insane. Like I would notice before they were in the break room, they would always have this like low vibe. They looked like they hated life. They just wanted to go home. And you could just tell like all this brain stuff up here was just declining through the shifts. But when they came out of the room, it was like they switched bodies with two completely different people. They were energized. They had a good attitude. They would end up getting things actually done way faster than they would before they did the white stuff.
My brother, where you working? The trap house? That don't make no damn sense. Why is your coworkers doing the white stuff? Huh? You might end up doing it too. That don't make sense to me, man. There's no amount of peer pressure in this world. A lot of y'all ain't had no fathers. I ain't taking nothing. If I take it, I might take it and hit the streets and sell it. Well, I don't know what's going on with these folks. Brother, I ain't snitching either. I ain't see nothing, but I ain't taking nothing. I'm just gonna let them folk go and geek through the warehouse or wherever you at. It is what it is. Do your thing, but in my thing, you need to be smarter. Why are you in the break room doing that? And just imagine if you was a snitch, boy, you gone. Look at the next one.
Your coworkers are not your friends. I have learned this lesson many, many, many times in my days. I don't care how cool they seem at the beginning. I don't care how inviting they are. I don't care how much of the business, their business, that they choose to tell you. You don't do the same thing. The baby was crying, so she will be a part of this video now. The easiest way to get caught up in some bullshit at work is to become close and personal friends with your coworker. I'm gonna step it up a notch too and say this: becoming friends with your manager. Now, I will say this: every blue moon you will get lucky. I have been blessed with 2 women in my life that are still my friends to this day that were my managers. That is Dee and that is Stephanie. I love the both of you guys so much. Outside of them, horrible experiences with friendships at work and managers at work. You get to being way too close to your coworker or your manager, and it is almost guaranteed that you're gonna end up quitting, you're gonna end up getting fired, or they might end up getting fired. Because I never told you guys this story, and I'm not gonna go in too deep, but I will say it started off like, oh my God, she's gonna be like the mom of this job. She is amazing, she's great. She's calling me at her office, we are talking, and then things went left real quick. Biggest mistake I made with that manager is that I did not put boundaries up at the beginning. I let it all flow. I let her say and do whatever. I thought it was cool. I thought I could say this. I thought she could say that. I just let everything go. She called me after work hours. I didn't put a hold to it. I didn't stop that. But when I finally got tired and irritated with certain things, everything hit the fan, and it was bad. It was bad. Let's just say workplace retaliation is a real thing. Do not get it twisted. So the next time you start a job, I want you to be mindful of the boundaries that you have before you start getting real close with your coworker or your manager. Because I'm telling you, it can end so bad for you, especially female to female. Don't do it.
Yeah, she's right. And also, the way I be scamming, sometimes it won't work. Certain jobs, they got different type of, just different economics. I've had like warehouse jobs where, it be some times back when before I was with my wife, I'm with a tenderoni. This FedEx, I'm in the truck with her, you know what I'm saying? I got that aura, I got that riz. So, she just all up on me, all up on my young jock, cause it's going down. It could have went down, but, where the supervisor, too fast, unloading too slow, go to the other truck. And he go over there and go talk to him. She don't even want to talk to you. Yeah, your breath stink. Folks would do that though, man. But I wasn't cool with that guy. That was just a lame ass boy. Boy, you lame. But that's what that is. Some folk be like that, bro. You tell these folk you got a new car, you got a new house, they're gonna be like, who? Boy, you're fired. They will do whatever they gotta do to get you in a predicament that you need to do what you need to do. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Okay, but just know these folk don't play, and they'll snitch on you all day, every day. Coworkers ain't your friends. Them boys is get your money, get your pay, and go on and leave for the day. It's Josh from Talk to Him Boy, and I'm out.